These are preview notes on the second preview event held in Newcastle, this time on Thursday 5th of March at the Coxlodge and Gossip District Social Club. A slightly obscure place to hold a preview event. I went to one last year at Tamworth Cricket Club, and that was good as well. This was decent enough. Always worth looking out for slightly obscure locations. I thought the Tamworth Cricket Club one sold out before I really paid attention to it this year. Panel was Gordon Brown, obviously the racing TV guy, not the former Prime Minister. Former jockey Paul Carberry, who I say is a pretty Carberry-like. Former current trainer Fergal O'Brien, who was always worth following on Twitter, very good sense of humour, and trainer James Griffin. Matt Nichols, the assist to Kim Bailey, and from Imperial Racing, both Ian Robinson and Paul Costello. The first race I looked at was the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Paul Costello liking Abracadabras for this race. James Griffith liking over Allen, and probably thought he'd run here. Well, obviously he doesn't. He's running with Ballymore. But his actual main selection was Edward Stone, who is running, and also considering Chantry House. Thought it was wide open, but he didn't fancy Abracadabras and felt that Captain Guinness was a forgotten horse. Paul Carby also liked Chantry House. Ian Robinson didn't like Shishkin and said that Nicky Henson really has a poor record in novice hurdles, and the ones who win are very, very good horses, but he still has quite a few losers. I also mentioned Esprit de Large, but his main choice here is Abracadabras. Fergal O'Brien liked Shishkin, each way also for Fiddler on the Roof, and he said he expected day one to be soft. Matt Nichols, Esprit de Large was his choice, and he also felt the ground would be soft and that Abracadabras wouldn't battle. Paul Costello also saying that Danny Mullins likes Esprit de Large, and Robbie Power is keen on Fiddler on the Roof. But James Griffin said he wasn't keen on Esprit de Large, and and Ian Robinson saying that horses are useful to have 4+ hurdle runs for this race. In the article, Matt Nichols liked Notebook, saying Brewing Up a Storm had no form. Fergal O'Brien, Paul Carby and Ian Robinson all agreeing on Notebook, but James Griffin disagreed, saying the horse had freaked out at Leopardstown and had been a moderate hurdler. He says Faka Doudourie had been beaten by Cashback, who had a long season. He wasn't convinced of a ground for Global Citizen, so Rogue Vive each way was his selection. Again, he was also against Brewing Up a Storm. Gordon Brown liked Global Citizen. And James Griffin said that Notebook might run away in the race, going miles too quickly, and then he joked he would perhaps puke when he seized the hill. On another issue, Fergal O'Brien said that one of his owners is a doctor, and was worried not because of the virus you all know about, not that Cheltenham be affected, but possibly Aintree if things get worse. And Gordon Brown said he'd actually heard a rumour that Aintree could be held behind closed doors. But then Fergal O'Brien pointing out that lots of people in pubs and bars would be watching Grand National anyway, even in Liverpool, and it's just about stating that it wouldn't really be an answer. We then talked to Sam Preston-Davis on the phone. He was saying that our dance will have to go some gallop in the article to make the pace, so he's actually not going to be front running. He liked riders on the Storm in the Ryanair Chase. For Ballyandy in the Champion Hurdle, he said the ground drying would be a problem, and he was pleased it didn't seem to be particularly doing so, so Ballyandy is saying soft ground's good for him. He mentioned Stolen Silver in the County Hurdle. He also mentioned Galahad Crest in the Fred Winter Boodles Hurdle, and One True King in the Champion Bumper. For his best chances of a winner were Riders on the Storm in the Ryanair Chase and Stolen Silver in the County Hurdle. He also mentioned Sir Valentine in the Imperial Cup. He said if it's on, and of course it wasn't, it was cancelled. The Champion Hurdle, Paul Costello, stating he was on Pentland Hills anti-post, but not now. Feeling the horse wasn't showing enough form. Then someone on the panel, possibly Gordon Brown, asked Paul Carby, just as a bit of a joke, does he ever wake up in a cold sweater about the one Archibald in the 2005 Champion Hurdle? And he said, never. I have to say, I always tell when I see that race, I do not think Archibald would have ever beaten Hardy Eustace, but I know I'm not unanimous in that decision. Carby, though, liked Epatante for the race, as did James Griffin. Wasn't keen on Chris Emery. Matt Nichols liking Epatante as well, feeling that Super Sunday wouldn't run, and that Sharjah wouldn't have a ground he likes. He also wasn't keen on Honeysuckle if she turned up, Ballyandy or Pentland Hills. Virgil O'Brien liked Epatante and Ballyandy each way. Ian Robinson didn't like Epatante because of a poor one she put in last year, thought Ballyandy had a chance, and says that Sharjah doesn't win after Christmas, and basically saying he might not be the ground, this is when the horse runs in the year, and he was keen on Super Sunday, but not on Pentland Hills. Gordon Brown liked Super Sunday each way for Champion Hurdle. Ian Robinson mentioned Call Me Lord, and also liked Super Sunday, who said he would have first-time blinkers, a jockey who was confident, and that Super Sunday had an exceptional record at 2 miles in soft ground. In the Ultima, Matt Nichols said his boss, Kim Bailey's horse at Vindication, was carrying 11 stone 12 that hadn't run in 6 months. So obviously not stating people should be too keen. Virgil O'Brien liked the conditional for this race. However, Gordon Brown did like Vindication, but Ian Robinson felt Vindication was too high in the weights, suggesting also possibly for Discorama. Matt Nichols saying it was only coincidence that Vindication had only run once left-handed and had a wind-up since then. Costello's choice is no comment, and I would say that's the name of the horse, no comment, not that he didn't make one. Paul Carby liked Vindication, and James Griffin liked no comment as his choice, but also Snow Falcon. The Mayor's Hurdle, well, simply, it's Benedict and no one else. Basically, Benedict first, the Western Nowhere. In the Novices Handicap Chase, Ian Robinson stated that his horse, Imperial Aura, is too short a price. So he was liking Paint the Dream for that race. Virgil O'Brien, who trains Paint the Dream, said he won badly at Ludlow because he pulled a shoe, so he can maybe ignore that race. And he actually does like Imperial Aura each way. Matt Nichols doesn't like Garvin or Hover Note, but he's a fan actually of Imperial Gold, but the horse he trains, well, his boss trains mainly, Kim Bailey. He felt also Paint the Dream had solid form and is probably his main selection each way. Paul Carby said Imperial Aura. I just have to say, it sounded almost a bit flippant. All I'll say is I'm not 100% sure he's being serious. I think he could be a bit Carby-like, as I said at the start of the video. And towards later on, Gordon Brown, every time he was talking to Paul Carby, was basically repeating which race it was, and Carby looked at his phone. I just wonder if Paul Carby had a few drinks. I'm not saying he had, but it seems a little strange. James Griffin in this race thought Imperial Aura wasn't quite yet the finished article, and so he liked Watmore each way. But Costello, though, stating Watmore jumped badly last time out. The National Hunt Chase, Matt Nichols mentioned New Tide, with Barry O'Neill riding each way. Ian Robinson liked a hollow Ginge, felt it was cutting up to actually be a poor race, and he didn't like the Willie Mullins horse in this race. I assume he's meaning they're carefully selected, but James Griffin liked carefully selected as he felt he'd been laid out by Willie Mullins for the race. Virgil O'Brien felt his horse Ocean Cove maybe a little too inexperienced for this race, but Lisa O'Neill rides. At this point, James Griffin suddenly, I don't quite know why he so came in now, talking about Champion Hurdle, saying that Call Me Lord's lad loves him. Well, all I'll say is I'm sure most lads and lasses are like their horse, and he's only entries at Champion Hurdle. The then got on the phone to Paddy Brennan. And Paddy Brennan mentioned Gino Trell in the Grand Annual, and I was actually at Doncaster when Gino Trell won. It was a very great performance, but, well, he's a 13-year-old. But anyway, Paddy Brennan mentioning Gino Trell, obviously a great fan of the horse. He joked that Pentland Hills could have done with Paul Carby riding. That would be a fun, shall we say. See what happens there. And unfortunately, well, I don't think Paul was leaping up the chance to come out of retirement. and he felt Imperial Aura might be an entry horse. When asked who he'd love to run a Gold Cup, he said Album Photo. We moved on to a Ballymore. Paul Costello liking Enver Allen, saying he actually should be odds on for the race. Well, now he's not in the Supreme. He probably will be. Well, at least not sure it was going to be at the time. James Griffin thought he might not run where he does. And if Enver Allen was a non-runner, then he went for Sporting John. But I'm seeing as Enver Allen's running, I assume Enver Allen would be his choice. But he really liked that latest exhibition. Ian Robinson felt that Enver Allen was exceptional. Virgil O'Brien liking Enver Allen, and Sporting John if Enver Allen was a non-runner, but of course Enver Allen is running. Matt Nichols like Enver Allen, and his second choice being the Big Breakaway. Paul Carberry saying Enver Allen, that was his choice for the race.